Well, howdy, guys. Long time no see. It seems like. To pardon any background noise, the house behind me seems to feel the need to add on again. So I don't know. Who knows? Wasn't enough to clear cut the entire property. Now they need to add something else. Oh well. Housekeeping. By the way, thank you guys for the wonderful comments. I hope everybody enjoyed that last video, the VR to Millennial Falcon, or Codger, whatever the hell he calls himself nowadays. So housekeeping. If you don't recognize it, this is the lovely form factor that was in that sleeve. This is a Hardcastle Argyle 127. So I got this from Smoking Pipes, UK. It's a little heavier than I expected it to be. I do have a softy bit on it because it's not the most balanced pipe ever. So it's just a little easier with the softy bit there. And I also got the billiard with the saddle stem on it. I'll show you guys that in another video. And in it, I have some Boswell's Countryside. I wanted to do in English today. I did some Millennium Falcon yesterday. That's not what it's called. Maltese Falcon. That's the one. Oh boy. Anyway, I was walking my dog. Just a couple updates. I told you guys before, my wife and son had the flu, and then my wife turned into ear infection and pneumonia. And on Friday, I started not to feel so hot, and the getting flu from them was past time. It wasn't contagious anymore at that point for them. So I wasn't sure what was going on. I went to doctor's office is useless again, so I went over to urgent care and told them what was going on. They tested me for my throat was really irritated, and my ear was bothering me as well. So I went to urgent care. They tested me for strep, COVID, flu, RSV. Everything came back negative. And I said, okay, what about my ear though? And so she looked in the ears and said, looks fine. Nothing to do. So I left. I scheduled another one of those IVs for Saturday, thinking it was, probably just a cold that I had. That should help me get over it. So I went on Saturday, got the IV done, and towards the end of the IV, my eyes started watering some, which was kind of weird. Didn't think much of it. Left the IV, got in my car, looked in the mirror, and my eyes were just covered in like a white goopy discharge. Get your minds out of the gutter. No. And I was like, that's not normal. So I went to urgent care that was near there, And I walked in, and 3 hour wait. I was like, my ear is really killing me. It's getting hard to see. I'm not gonna sit here for 3 hours and then have to drive half an hour home. I was like, I'm just gonna go to the urgent care closer to my house. So I left, and I went over back to the same urgent care I went to the day before, and it was empty. Nobody was there, which was a nice shock. So they took me back, and same doctor comes in, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Well, I have this white goopy discharge coming out of my eyes, and I can hardly see. And my right ear feels like it's full of liquid and it's about to explode." So she looks in my eyes and she goes, "Oh yeah, you've got bacterial pink eye. Great. In both eyes." And then looked in my ear, and she's like, "Oh yeah, look at that. There's an ear infection now." I said, "Kind of like I told you was happening yesterday." So this was 4:30 in the afternoon, and she prescribed eye drops and an antibiotic. And I was like, "Hey, the pharmacy closes in 2 hours. Do you have any, like, I don't know if they're going to get it to me in time. Do you have any here?" She said, "No, just go over to the pharmacy and tell them that you need it tonight." So I did. And they got it, which was great. And started both of them that night. And the whole night, every time I woke up, my eyes were just like glued shut from whatever that stuff is that was coming out of my eyes. And I have to wake up and go coat a washcloth in hot water and leave that over my eyes for a couple of minutes to loosen all this stuff up, and then I could wipe it off. It was a mess, and that was countless times throughout the night. So Sunday I called out of work. I don't think I'd call out sick. Maybe once in every 2 years, maybe? I generally try to work through being sick because you just sit around the house and feel miserable and be bored. So, and it's not like I could stay at home and do something productive, right? You guys know at this point that I like to read in my free time, and I couldn't see for shit. So that wasn't going to happen. Can I do audio? Nope. Because both my ears have an infection. Yeah. These last couple of days have really sucked. So now my eyes are better, which is great. Still using the drops for the next 3 days or so. My ear, though, my right ear, this one's far worse than the left ear. It still feels like it's full of liquid. It's hard to hear out of it. A lot of noise. It just sort of echoes in that ear, and it just hurts my head really, really bad. So this is actually only my second pipe. My throat's still irritated too. I smoked in English yesterday thinking the Latakia would be a little less offensive on it, and it turned out fine. So here we are, another Latakia blend. So yeah, went to the city today, a follow-up doctor's appointment for my son. He was supposed to go 2 weeks ago from his surgery, and he had the flu, so we didn't go, postponed it. My wife is still not feeling great, so I got her a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'm not feeling great, so it was a rough trip to the city today. And while we were there, they got hungry, they wanted to eat. So we stopped at a McDonald's, which was stupid and foolish because apparently nobody in the city does anything of use, and they're all hanging out in McDonald's, FaceTiming and being obnoxious and loud. Yeah. And on the way to back to Grand Central, we pretty much were followed by an ambulance that was trying to make its way through traffic and just had all its sirens on blaring, and it was just killing my ear and my head. Yeah. And these jackasses back here. But whatever. So that's all that. So that's where I've been. Sitting at home, miserable. I went to work yesterday. Took today off. Go to work my second job tonight, though, so that's going to be interesting. I work at my gym in the evenings. Music's getting turned way down tonight because I don't want to be hearing loud music all night. Nope. So that's what's been going on here. A whole bunch of discomfort and misery. I missed my Friday reads, so I'll just go over the highlight of it real quick, if you're interested. Couple weeks ago, I reviewed The Shadow of the Wind, and I talked about how this was actually my favorite read of 2024. I absolutely love this book. And there's 3 other books in the series, and a book of short stories. And so, first of all, once again, let me just start off by saying, The Shadow of the Wind, highly recommend this book. All these books take place in Barcelona. I'll just read you the back of this one again one more time, because they'll sort of set the stage for the other books I'm going to show you in a second. Barcelona, 1945, a city slowly healing from its war wounds, and Daniel, an antiquarian book dealer's son, who mourns the loss of his mother, finds solace in a mysterious book entitled The Shadow of the Wind by one Julian Carax. But when he sets out to find the author's other works, he finds a shocking discovery. Someone has been systematically destroying every copy of every book Carax has written. In fact, Daniel may have the last copy of Carax's books in existence. Soon Daniel's seemingly innocent quest opens a door to one of Barcelona's darkest secrets, an epic story of murder, madness, and doomed love. Like I said, I think in the review for this, it has a very strong sort of Phantom of the Opera-esque vibe to it, except with books instead of music. And I'm a huge, huge Phantom of the Opera fan, so I don't say things like that lightly. So, Shadow of the Wind, pick it up, do it on the audio, narrated really well, do it. So, after I finished that, I decided I like the characters in the book so much, and the second one seemed to depart from those characters, and I was like, well, I want more of those characters. So I jumped to the third book, The Prisoner of Heaven. And this is a fantastic book as well. It gives a little bit more of a background on one of the, who becomes one of the main characters in The Shadow of the Wind. And it's a follow-up to Shadow of the Wind, which is why I jumped on this one. But there was the importance of this other character. My keep messing up his name. David Martine. And he's talked about a lot in this book, and there's something really weird about him. And so after I finished this one, I was like, okay, I gotta get to the bottom of what's going on with who the hell's David Martine, which brought me back to book 2. Talking about not trusting the process. This is also a fantastic book. Book number 2, The Angel's Game. And book 3 makes a hell of a lot more sense now. Because after you finish this book, you want to know what the hell happened to David Martine. Well, it gives you a little bit more detail in the 3rd book, as you would expect, right? Highly recommend this one as well. If you want I'll just read the back of this real quick to you. At the beginning of this powerful labyrinthian thriller, David Martine, a pulp fiction writer struggling to stay afloat, is holed up in an abandoned mansion in the heart of Barcelona, furiously tapping out story after story, becoming increasingly desperate and frustrated. When he's approached by a mysterious publisher offering a book deal that seems almost too good to be real, David leaps at the chance. But as he begins the work, and after a visit to the Cemetery of Forgotten Books, you'll know what that is when you read the first one, he realizes that there's a connection between his book and the shadows that surround the dilapidated home, and that the publisher may be hiding a few troubling secrets of his own. Once again, the author takes us into dark Gothic Barcelona, creating a breathtaking tale of intrigue, romance, and tragedy. That book might be one of the best examples of an unreliable narrator that I have ever read in my life. Yeah. Both of those books, actually all 3 of those books, and the 3rd one's great too. All 3 of those books have received 5 out of 5 stars for me. I don't think I would hesitate to read anything by this author. I started book 4, the last of the series, on audio. And I probably should have been done with it by now. But going back, like I said, I'm gonna stick earphones in my ears because, yeah, it's super uncomfortable. So the only time I really get to listen to that right now is when I'm in the car. So it's taken quite a bit longer to get through it than I would have suspected. Still a good book so far. And then on the train ride today, I picked up book 5, which I know I said 4 was the last one. 5 is a bunch of short stories. Sort of fills in details about characters and things like that throughout the other 2 books. So one of them, it's kind of cool because you don't have any idea who it's about necessarily when you start the short story. One I finished on the train, started and finished on the train, was about this young pregnant girl. And you find out at the very end that it's David Martine's mom. And you find out why she was never in the picture in book 2 when he's growing up with his abusive dad. So, kind of cool. Keeps you guessing. So yeah, I would highly recommend those books to anybody that's interested. Again, they're all narrated incredibly well on Audible, so if you don't think you're going to have time to get through, because those are a couple hundred pages apiece, fly through them on audio. It's great stuff. So yeah, I think you guys saw my post. Most of you, some of you saw my post. I've got a little something coming in the mail. Tracking says Friday. All reality, the way that Smoking Pipes gets their stuff mailed out and delivered, probably be here on Thursday, maybe tomorrow, probably Thursday. So yeah, I'll show you guys that when it arrives. It has not arrived yet, and I've already given it a name. Do you guys name your pipes? I don't know. I never really thought about it. But that one's already got a name and hasn't even arrived yet, so. Alright, it's cold. Pretty much done my pipe. I'm gonna call it a day. Go say bye to my son. He's got an after school program that he's going to, even though he wasn't in school. He's going to the after school program. And it's a Lego building after school program, so he actually really enjoys it. So I go say goodbye to him before he goes to that. So by the time he gets out, I'll be heading off to work tonight. So I'll do my next video when... Yeah, this week's looking a little crazy. Snow and ice on Thursday during the day. We've got a big event happening at work, so everything has to be cleaned up and good to go for Friday morning. So in all reality, I'll probably be working a little bit later on Thursday and possibly just going straight to work at the gym right after without coming home. So and then Friday, even though it's my day off, I will be at work all day on Friday as well. So we will see when I get around to the next video. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you and welcome to all the new subscribers. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.